What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. I am the Crypto Crow, and today we're going to do, I wouldn't necessarily call it a deep dive, but we're definitely going to take a hard look at Internet Computer, because it's one of these projects that I've kind of had my eye on for a little while, and I've been, I'm starting to dive a little bit deeper as the market continues to change its course, and you know, I'm waiting for like my Wyckoff accumulation pattern to really play out, which right now I'm getting a little nervous. It's going up a little bit more than I anticipated, but we haven't blasted out the whole pattern just yet. So we'll see if we get another reversal to the downside sooner than later. If we do, then I'll be like, okay, cool. And if not, we continue going up. Well, we'll see. Maybe the bottom is in, and there will be no more future bottom, a future low, but we'll see. But in the meantime, I am looking at a lot of the different projects that I plan on or have been sort of accumulating. And Internet Computer is one of these projects that went from practically nothing to huge gains pretty much out of nowhere. I mean, in a very, very brief time frame. And there was a lot of contention around Internet Computer as being a form of scam, because ultimately it was a brilliant project that rose to prominence quite quickly. And then there was a lot about it related to FTX. And Ben over at BitBoy Crypto did a fantastic video where he kind of broke down some of the nuances and details related to that relationship. And I trust his research on this. I think, you know, he basically said, listen, you know, they didn't, Internet Computer weren't the bad actors here. You know, I mean, the project went from basically nothing to like a high of $550. And, you know, it was never intended or never expected to go that high. But because of the way FTX did their business, you know, duplicating tokens and then selling them and buying them and just doing all sorts of shady activities, pumping up projects that they liked, or whatever, maybe they established an early stake in and they decided to manipulate the markets, whatever it was they were doing, it's all alleged, I think, at this point, what was actually happening. However, there's a lot to be said about the technology itself, and apparently the team at Internet Computer really wasn't to blame for what had happened in the price action and its extreme rise and fall. But the question is, does that mean that the technology is worthless? Does that mean that the project is worthless? Absolutely not. Because I think that when you look at what Internet Computer is doing, you're going to realize there are two sides to this that I'm going to get into. One, the technology looks really sharp. Two, it's about adoption, and we're going to touch on those. So let's go over initially an overview of what Internet Computer is, and we'll kind of go from there. So dApps on the Internet Computer, or IC for short, are implemented as canister smart contracts, or canisters for short. If you want to build on the Internet Computer as a dApp developer, you first have to create a canister module that contains the WebAssembly code and configuration for your dApp, and deploy it using like the HTTPS interface. You can create canister modules using the Motoko language and the SDK, which is more convenient. If you want to use your own tooling, however, then this document describes what a canister module looks like and how getting an early start. It's just 9 a.m. my time. So those of you know, I'm a night owl generally. I'm not an early bloomer. And how the WebAssembly code can interact with the Internet Computer. Once your dApp is running on the Internet Computer, it is a canister smart contract, and users can interact with it. They can use the HTTPS, basically the secure HTTP protocol, to interact with the canister according to the system API. The user can also use the HTTPS interface to issue read-only queries, which are faster but cannot change the state of a canister, and then there's kind of a little graph, a little chart basically that shows what it is and kind of how it works. I mean, in a nutshell, it's like these are self-contained units of code that function primarily for your application and allows your application to run on the internet computer's blockchain, utilizing all of the features and functionalities of IC, and that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And so what they're creating is like an internet. It's like they're trying to create Web3 in a self-contained system. In other words, we've got Web 2 and we have the way all of these different servers connect and work together. This is basically like, oh, so sorry, I can't help myself. I'm like Sleepy J. No, I don't like Sleepy J. But ultimately, a lot of DApp applications working on this blockchain. So the question here is, and you can dive into a lot of this information. This is like the developer documents, and there's a lot of little snippets and a lot of coding information and things like that. A lot of this stuff I don't even understand. I'm not a coder. I don't know what this is. Is this Python? I have no clue. But you can still kind of learn a good deal about kind of how the project is represented, how it's developed, what its purposes are, and so forth. But the question is like, let's look at some of the numbers here first, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper. So if we look at the price of Internet Computer, according to Masari, which I think this is, I probably need to refresh this. It was 567 when I started looking at this. A reported market capitalization of 1.64 billion. Real trading volume at about 19.11 million. Okay. That's the real trading volume, which isn't really that high. And given that its all-time high was $551 just 2 years ago, it's currently down. This is 98.97% from its all-time high, which, that's insane. And so, a lot of people are going to look at these numbers and they're going to be like, holy cow, if it just gets back to its all-time high, I can make like $500,000 off of $5,000 or whatever. No, you're not. I'm just going to tell you that right now. No, you're not. But it could be fruitful anyway. Your break-even multiple, this is a 97x. You would need to do 97x on your money just to get to its original all-time high. Its cycle low is $2.93. It's up 93.91% since its cycle low. So it's gaining ground yet again. It's coming back. However, without FTX pumping it like it did Solana and a lot of other projects that were even, less favorable technologically and otherwise, without having FTX, Alameda, and all of these guys basically artificially pumping the token, I highly, highly doubt it's going to reach its all-time high of $550 over the next bull cycle. I just don't see that happening. It's not to say that it can't do pretty well, though. But to make those decisions, we're going to look at ultimately what's been done and what's happening with it right now. Down from its all-time high, it's very, very low. Looking at the price action, I like looking at all. And you can see it basically, it was up really, really good and just started tanking. Then it peaked again and started tanking. And it's just basically like this is like a snow hill of decline in price action as things unfolded with FTX and all of those people. Okay. Now, you can read through the white paper. You can check out the GitHub. I'm not going to be doing a deep dive into all of these little things. But what I'm most interested in was a bit about the history of the project, where it's been, and where I think it could go based off of what it's doing. This is what I find the most interesting about Internet Computer. If you're trying to create a solid foundation for growing Web3 applications and businesses, this really looks cool. Okay. Now we're going to go through some of these things that are already launched. They're out there in the world. This DSCVR has 175,000 plus users so far. Keep in mind, this is 2 years old. Internet Computer launched in 2021. So everything that I'm about to show you are things that have been developed over the last 2 years alone, really. And some of this, I mean, this is some pretty cool stuff. So we've got this, which is basically a social media platform. They're comparing it to Reddit. And this is all a blockchain-based social media platform comparable to Reddit. It's less than 2 years old. I don't know the exact launch date of this, but this is pretty cool. I mean, it looks good. It loads pretty quickly. I mean, given the fact that this is all blockchain-based, it loads pretty quickly. I like it. It says 175,000 users. It could be more. It could be less by now. I don't know what it was at the peak. I don't know what it is now. It doesn't look insanely busy. I mean, some of these articles and things look like they were piped in 5 hours ago. Could that be bot driven? Could that be? I don't know. Okay. But they do have a platform and it looks pretty cool. I just don't see the adoption yet. We're going to get to that. Contribute 1,000+ users. Contribute is a Web3 creators platform that brings story writing and digital art collectibles together. Features include decentralized story storage, likes, tipping, polls, NFT marketplace, and NFT minting. So that's basically an NFT marketplace that, for creatives. I like the idea. I went to the site and I'm like, okay, it's cool. Not a whole heck of a lot there that I saw, but it's not too bad. Infinity Swap. $1.5 million invested, Polychain Capital, plus A16Z. So Infinity Swap is a platform to create, stake, and swap tokens on the internet computer. That's wonderful. District, 110,000 users, a completely decentralized community-owned professional network. So basically, this is supposed to be like a LinkedIn, right? And I'm seeing all this as a pattern. They've taken a lot of big, use cases from social media and the like. You've got Reddit, you've got LinkedIn, all of these, and they're basically just cloning them in a nutshell and bringing them to internet computers, a blockchain-based application. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all, in my opinion. But the problem that I see right now is the adoption is not that good yet. And why would it be? Because it's internet computer. FTX, while it made some of these big wigs and the insiders a whole lot of money artificially pumping the project's token, ultimately created kind of a bad sentiment around the project overall, which ultimately is hurting everybody else that's developing on it. And they're developing on it because of the technology enabling them to do so. And it's not about the tokenomics of the project. The tokenomics are pretty solid. I think there's only 300 million tokens out there. And I need to double check on that. But, there's a lot of opportunity for some significant price action growth just based off of tokenomics alone. If some of these applications can really continue growing their marketing and their use case. We're just not seeing a lot of this stuff. I didn't know anything about these till I started digging into the project. Kinnick, I'm not sure how you pronounce this. That's not a great name in my opinion, but this is a Web3 search engine, 3 million plus searches. Okay. I accessed it. I did a search for Crypto Crow. I didn't come up anywhere. But I think it's more of a Web3 search engine. I would like to think, though, I exist somehow in some way in Web3 by now, but apparently not. There's some other things that I found interesting. Let me try to find them. A database, a pseudograph is a GraphQL database for the internet computer. Its goal is to become the simplest way to develop applications for the IC by providing flexibility and out-of-the-box data management. Entrepot. 1 million plus ICP volume. Entrepot is a decentralized NFT marketplace developed by Tonic Labs, the creators behind Rise of the Magni, Stoic Wallet, Chronic NFTs, and Exponent. So there's a big group working on this, and they're increasing the volume of ICP token. That's really pretty good. Okay. ICP Explorer, which I looked at, that's actually pretty interesting. ICME is a no-code tool that makes it easy for anyone to build and deploy beautiful websites on the internet computer. Launch your blog or business website on internet computer today. We're going to take a quick look at that while I'm continuing to move down this list. Bitfinity wallet, a multi-chain wallet. There's so many different applications that have been built already. This is a big one. Open Chat. This is a decentralized like Telegram type platform. A decentralized chat app governed by the people for the people. Open Chat is a fully featured chat application running end to end on the internet computer blockchain. I mean, it looks like Telegram to me. I'd use it. I mean, I haven't started yet, but I mean, I'm interested. I'm going to learn more about it. You've got the team here that are developing it. I mean, here's the thing. All of these individual projects are cool. And the fact that they're built on internet computer is cool. The only problem is nobody knows they exist. Not enough people know they exist. And on top of that, you've got D-Mail Network. This is basically a blockchain-based Web3 email client solution. And they're offering all sorts of stuff. You basically can utilize this with a MetaMask and Gmail or Dropbox and all these different things. I'm sure I haven't opened it. I haven't used it. I'm guessing that it's not going to have all of the little bells and whistles in the graphical UI of what we're known to use from like an Outlook or something like that. But if you're just trying to send some messages encrypted and blockchain based and so forth, I mean, this could be really solid. It's in beta. Check it out. There's no reason why you can't just experiment with some of this stuff and figure out what's going to be a solid use case for you. Because quite frankly, I haven't seen anything else quite like any of these applications built on a blockchain. There are games, there are so many different things here. It just keeps going. I think there's like 80 different projects and it continues to grow. A lot of wallet-based, DeFi, all sorts of things. I think internet computer could do extremely well in the next bull market outside of what had happened to it in the last bull cycle with FTX and everybody else artificially pumping its token. Now, if I'm looking at sentiment, we can see that sentiment is going to continue growing, I think, as we continue moving. Social dominance chart. Let's apply for a new chart. So this is the social dominance, and it's very high and low, very high and low. It has been kind of tearing down over the month of February. Actually, this is just a day. Hold on a second. Oh no, January, February. Okay, no, it's not just a day. This is the month of February. So over the month of February, since late January, it's just been kind of coming down quite a bit. And the thing of it is all of these metrics would rise with the adoption of these applications, of people talking about them, of people linking to them. That is how this kind of thing is going to grow from here. We could go through a lot of these different social metrics, spam volume, shared links. There's a whole bunch of data here. This is Lunar Crush. So I was checking things out. And really, it doesn't really matter. A lot of this stuff doesn't matter right now. We're in a bear market still. I do believe we're still in a bear market. We're likely going to turn around here relatively soon. But the circulating supply of this project's 290 million. There's a maximum of almost 500 million tokens. The market cap of 1.64 billion. That's really not that high. This is almost, in some ways, given its use case potential as a Web3 blockchain that's created, that is basically distributing the packages, the development kits, the things people need to develop these applications on internet computer. I really think that this could go pretty big. Will it see 550 again? No, that's not going to happen. Anything is possible, and I'm not giving financial advice, but I would feel comfortable investing in internet computer personally. Probably not too much, but I might go in for like $1,000 just to play with it and see what happens, see what the outcome. Maybe SBF gets freed, starts it all up again, and it goes to 1,000 this time. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. But ultimately at $5, almost $6, with a lot of upside potential, as long as the use cases associated with the projects and applications being built continue to grow. Personally, I want to experiment a little bit with Open Chat and see what's possible there. I'd like to see Internet Computer adopt and start working with Cardano, which I haven't seen. I see it working with a multitude of blockchains, but Cardano's not one of them. I'm hoping that when as Cardano continues to expand its interoperability between other blockchains, that somehow these folks meet in the middle. Because some of this stuff is pretty cool and it's definitely worth checking out. So I'll throw these links in the description below, especially this one, so you guys can go and dive into some of the projects that are being developed on Internet Computer. And I'll follow up. I'll follow up and see where its growth is and how things are coming along. Maybe I'll have some people on the channel at some point in the future. We'll see. But I'm interested in Internet Computer. It's not something that I think is going to make me a wealthy person by any stretch right now, but I definitely see the potential and I like what I've seen. So until next time, guys, grow your coins and I'll see you soon.